Coming to you live from the historic Big Dome, the Araneta Coliseum, ABS-CBN Sports presents the Final Four of Season 72 of your UAAP.
35 in favor of the Tamaraws against the defending champions Ateneo. And Al Husseini finally knocking it in.
Defending champions Ateneo de Manila University is riding the crest of a 10-game winning streak as it enters its 10th straight Final Four.
Or maybe get the lead with a three. Al Husseini. Oh, it's a three on the way. Giant Reyes gives Ateneo the lead. Shot clock was down to 2 seconds. Montfort. A little bit of a slip. Salamat all day to shoot.
Can the Eagles' momentum carry them straight to the finals?
The foul in the basket. Salamat gets the three-point play.
Not taking the shot and go for OT.
Because they can't put up 5 points in the span of 2 seconds. Wow, Al Husseini off the dish.
6 balls HD in high definition. As Kasim Mirza drains a three.
The University of Santo Tomas has lost its last 3 assignments, but it still managed to sneak into the Final Four.
Big game at the Araneta Coliseum for Ateneo and FEU. Great dribble, great fake by Dylan Ababu. Wow, what an answer. Fortuna jacks up a three.
Now, can the Growling Tigers halt their losing skid and force their foes to a do-or-die encounter?
Take away by Cabos. Cabos behind the back dribble. Finds the Tata Bautista. Gets it to go. What a play by USD.
Ateneo de Manila on a 10-game winning streak, ending the elimination round as number 1 with a 13-1 record. The Blue Eagles are making their 10th straight Final Four appearance. In the meantime, the USD Growling Tigers managing to sneak into the Final Four despite dropping its last 3 assignments and finishing with a 6-8 record. The Tigers are back in the Final Four after missing out last year. You feel it, you hear it. It is playoff time here in the UAAP. Final Four action in Season 72 of the UAAP. And we are at the Big Dome, the Araneta Coliseum. It is live, it is exclusive here in Studio 23, and it is in high definition on Balls HD, Sky Cable Channel 166. For ABS-CBN Sports, Boom Gonzalez together with Coach Luigi Trillo. Coach, if you're a USD supporter, how do you find positives coming into this game knowing that you're on a 3-game losing streak? Your record is under 500. You're facing a team that is on a 10-game winning streak and a team that you haven't beaten this season, let alone since 2007.
Well, if you're Coach Pido Jarento, you have to look at the positives. And if you think about it, the last game these two teams met, USD was up by 2 points at the end of the third quarter. Ababu and Mirza erupted in that game for 19 and 18 points respectively. So if he can go to them, and they shouldn't settle for fadeaway jumpers. You should take it to the basket, see what you can get from that, set up your teammates, and try to get those threes open. Second thing on my list, I think, is that the USD has to make their three-point shots. In that game, they only lost by 10. They were up by 2 at the end of the third, and they missed 25 three-point shots. They hit 3 out of 28. So you have to hit those open threes. And, you know, if it misses, don't worry about it. Go back, play defense. Next open three, try to fill that again. And the last thing on my list, Ateneo is very good one-on-one wise. They're very talented. You know, USD should limit their defensive breakdowns. The more they break down, the more Ateneo gets potent. They're able to rotate that ball around. And you know, Ateneo, they're loaded in terms of talent. They hit the three-point shots, they get to the basket. My feeling is if USD has to have a chance, stop the point of attack right one-on-one defense.
All right, and Luigi came up with this list, some sort of a list, because of the 2 meetings of this season. First, let's go to the first round meeting. That happened at the Phil Sports Arena, if I'm not mistaken, and they did not see this guy coming in and coming out, so to speak. The pocket rocket, Eman Montfort, exploded from beyond the arc, and USD did not anticipate him exploding from the bench. He was the best player, and Ateneo winning that one and winning it big.
Well, winning it big, right? You are there. I mean, Ateneo came out here. They dominated UST. If you check the halftime stats, 52-35. So a 17-point cushion for Ateneo. And talk about bench scoring. That's what Ateneo is known for right now. They've recruited well. They've got 10 guys who can play in any team. 55 points compared to UST's 34. And you know, any day, anybody can interrupt. In this game, it was Monfort that interrupted for them. Other games, it's been Kirk Long, it's been Salva, it's been Buenafe. So who do you guard? I think you have to guard everybody by trying to stop the point of attack.
And then the second meeting happened at the Araneta Coliseum, August 23. A better game for UST. At the half, I believe they were in the lead by 3 points, but Ateneo turning that 3-point deficit and winning that ball game by 10, and they came from the behind. And you mentioned this guy, he was the one who exploded, and again, UST did not see him coming.
Well, that's the advantage of Ateneo. They have the experience and they know what to do even if they go down a lead. So you have to bring your A game against them. In this game, UST was in full control. 39-36 halftime score. Key stat though for me, check this out. Ateneo, 32%. UST, only 10%.
Wow.
And to think in that game, they hit 20. They tried to hit 28 3-point shots, only connected in 3.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is that you have to keep on going with what works for you. In this game, they were only down, they were up by 2 at the end of the third quarter, which is good. But can you imagine if they had connected in the threes, they might have eventually won that game instead of lose it.
But of course, that is all already water under the bridge. UST losing that one. We'll take a break. We'll break down this game even more when we come back. We're back with you here at the Araneta Coliseum. Second day for Final Four. It started yesterday with UE and FEU today. UST trying to extend their lives here in Season 72 of the UAP. And it all starts today as they try to win against the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles, who have the twice-to-beat advantage. That's the scenario coming into this matchup. Again, welcome courtesy of ABS-CBN Sports. Let's talk about the numbers now between Ateneo and UST. Luigi Ateneo, or make that UST the #1 offensive team in the league, but also the worst in terms of giving up points as we check out our Corneto comparative stats. Selecta Corneto, tip to top sarap.
Well, it's very glaring here. UST is the #1 offensive team, but check out against Ateneo. They only had 73 points in the past 2 games. That means Ateneo is doing a great job defensively. Ateneo, on the other hand, 86. So that's a 13-point disparity there. Field goal shooting, we know everybody from Ateneo can score. The 10 guys that Coach Norman fields in, 43%, that's high percentage. UST, 34%, so not too well there. Rebounds, they're more or less even. But this is where Ateneo, and this is the #1 reason why Ateneo is #1. Turnovers, 12.5 for the Blue Eagles. They take care of the basketball, and they really run a good job of setting up guys who should be set up, whether it's Salamat, whether it's Al-Husseini. And on the other hand, you've got UST 14 on their part. So very glaring stats there that favor the Blue Eagles.
And when you talk about turnovers, Ateneo is the #2 team in terms of least turnovers, only behind the UE Red Warriors, who won yesterday, by the way, if you still don't know, against FEU. That means they extend their lives here in the UAP. The teams are getting ready to come in, and we'll check them out when we come back after a short break. We're back with you for the live and exclusive coverage of Final Four here in the UAP Season 72, the Sunday showdown between the #1 team, Ateneo de Manila University, and the #4 team, the UST Growling Tigers. Let's focus our attention now, Luigi, on particular players of these two teams. First up for Ateneo, we all know they have the reigning MVP. We all know they have the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. But I've said it in past coverages, really right now this year, the guy who keeps the engine going, especially in the second round, in this 10-game winning streak, both offensively and defensively, Eric Salamat has been there.
Well, he's been great. In his first 11 games, averaging 9.6 points per game. But in the last 3 games, 20 points per game. And he just gives Ateneo that extra weapon to use. It's nice to have somebody down low to go to. But Salamat is great in the open court, and in the half-court set, he can break down anybody on a pick and roll. He has stepped up big, and you love his cockiness, you love his confidence on the court. And there are the key stats. And check out also in the lower part of your team, lower part of the stats, 3-point shooting, 42%. The last 3 games for him. Steal-wise, he's also stepped it up a notch. And you talk about key players when pressure and it's on the line, when games are on the line, these guys, the stats come up.
You know, he's number 3 in assists, number 1 in steals. And yes, you mentioned the 61% shooting, but in general, he's shooting 59%, so there's not really a drop. He's very efficient, Eric Salamat, and they will rely a lot on that efficiency coming into the playoffs, the Final Four. But today, Ateneo will be missing also a player, Nico Salva, who has been very efficient for Coach Norman Black, coming off the bench, Luigi.
Well, this guy stepped it up. Obviously, he hit Nutel. People were saying that he got pinched, but Nico Salva, very calm guy, works hard. I'm very impressed with the way Nico has stepped up his game from first year to second year. And, you know, he will be missed, but not that much because Ateneo's deep. They've got guys like Baclao. They've got guys like Sumalinog. They've got a deep rotation. And obviously, they will miss him, but not as much. It's different if you were in UST and you lost a big guy like a Maliksi, or you lost like a Mirza. That would really affect UST because they are thin when it comes to the rotation, Boom.
So he won't be playing today for the Ateneo de Manila University. On the other side of the boat, UST Growling Tigers with their leading MVP candidate this year, consistently scoring 20 points, consistently leading the league in scoring. And I've said it so many times, he makes it look so easy. But in the 3-game losing streak, there is a considerable dip in the scoring.
Well, you have to understand, Ababu had MVP numbers before those last 3 games. And if you looked at it in those 3 games, the coaching staff of the other teams limited Ababu. They said, okay, you average 20 points, we're gonna limit you. We're gonna send 1, 2, 3 defenders. And that's what happened with Ababu. That's why his scoring has dipped, Boom, from 20 points in his first 11 games to 14 here in his last 3. The key for him is he's setting up his teammates, but his teammates have to hit those open shots. We talked about it their last game against Ateneo. 3 out of 28 3-pointers. You have to knock those shots down that Ababu's giving you. So his teammates have to step up today to help Ababu and Mirza out if they want to win.
Well, you know, Luigi, the streaks don't matter anymore when you get into the playoffs, the Final Four. 10-game winning streak for Ateneo doesn't matter when it gets to this game. The 3-game losing streak of UST doesn't matter because we are going to kick off this Final Four matchup between number 1 and number 4 when we come back here on Studio 23. Oh boy, it's a beautiful sight looking at the Araneta Coliseum here in the UAAP on a Sunday showdown. We are live, we are exclusive. Dylan Ababu and the rest of the UST Growling Tigers trying to win today to force a do-or-die match, which will happen on Thursday. Nonoy Baclao joining the referees at the center circle. Referee Zambrano, Marabe, and Pineda will be patrolling the Araneta Coliseum today. And just to give you a few things, only 4 number 4 seeds have forced a second match in Final Four history in the UAAP, but none have won that second match. Also, another thing to take note of, no number 4 seed has won over the number 1 yet, but in terms of the number 5, in terms of the number 2 or number 3s, 5 out of 15, number 3 seeds have beaten number 2. So when I say this, I'm just highlighting that the odds are stacked up against UST today.
Definitely. And not only that, if you think about it, Boom, the mindset of UST is going to be, it's pretty tough. They've lost 3 games entering the Final Four. So even if they got the goal they wanted, Coach Pido said our main goal is to enter the Final Four. And once we're there, we'll figure it out. They've done that. But now the mindset coming against Ateneo, which is honestly, experience plays a big factor. Ateneo is very experienced. They have the bench. Coaching-wise also, they've been there and done that. So if you think about it, it's sort of like a David versus Goliath today.
And something though is working for UST, Luigi, and that is not too long ago, 2006, They did overcome a twice-to-beat advantage as a number 3 seed, though. Not as a number 4 seed, but as a number 3 seed. They won over UE twice in the Final Four, and eventually, as you remember, won the title. And the good thing that's working for them is they had Coach Pido Harencio coaching that team. So, hindi ganun kalayo yung kailangan nilang tignan in terms of experience, in terms of trying to overcome the twice-to-beat advantage.
Well, if, you know, Coach Pido has won a championship, 06, he had Jervy Cruz there.
Yeah.
And they had a winning record entering the Final Four. Like you said, if you're a coach now, you're trying to work on the positives, which we discussed. And he's going to look for that. And his key right now is obviously he's got Ababu and Mirza who will lead the team.
Yeah.
But he's got the other guys to step up, and you know, the rookies like Teng
Yes.
and all these guys, they have to knock down shots to take away the pressure from Ababu and from Mirza. The other guys have to step up because, you know, if the focus on Ateneo, let's say, for example, is on Raba Al Husseini, you know that a Salamat will save him or a Jai Reyes can step up to the plate. So it remains to be seen. But you know what? No pressure for him. No pressure for him today.
You know, we got former players here. Olsen Rosella from Ateneo earlier, Alwin Espiritu and Chris Cantonjos. Jojo Duncil, one of the better medium-range shooters, who was part of the 2006.
Villanueva also,
Final.
who played for UST as well.
That's right.
Back in my day.
All right, Luigi, that's not too long ago. Let's get this game started and go to our Coliseum announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the UAAP Games is now seen live on Studio 23, the Filipino channel, with replay on Ball Sky Cable Channel 34, and for the first time ever, in high definition on Sky Cable Channel 166. Good afternoon from the Big Dome, the Araneta Coliseum, for the second matchup in your Season 72 UAAP Final Four. Please welcome the starters for the school celebrating its quadricentennial 400th year anniversary in 2011 and aiming to extend this series to a rubber match. Here's the UST Growling Tigers. At point guard, number 7, Jerick Fortuna. Shooting guard, number 9, Clark Bautista. Setter, number 12, Chris Camus. Shooting forward, number 14, Kasem Mirza. And at power forward, this year's MVP, Dylan Ababu. The head coach of the Growling Tigers, Pido Harencio. And now, celebrating their sesquicentennial 150th year anniversary on December 10, here's the 2009 UAAP Cheer Dance Competition first runners-up, the defending champions, Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. At power forward, number 7, Nonoy Baclao. Forward, number 12, Kirk Law. Setter, number 19, Raba Al Husseini. At point guard, number 5, the Dynamite.
We can hardly hear ourselves here at the Araneta Coliseum, but as we always say, we don't mind at all. The starters for the defending champions and the number 1 seed, Ateneo, and the number 4 team who need to win twice just to make it to the finals, UST. For Ateneo, they've been there, they've done that. This exact group has been there, while for UST, Luigi, this is probably the biggest game of their lives for a lot of these players, like Tata Bautista, Jerick Fortuna, Jerick Teng, and the rest of the crew.
Definitely. And think about the veterans like Ababu and Mirza. It will be their last year. This may be the last game they play.
That's a great point, Luigi. It can be the last game, so there's no holding back for UST, who gets first possession here. Dylan tries a 3 right away. And Raba Al Husseini with the first rebound. Nonoy Baclao trying to run the break. And it is Ababu on Baclao. Camus taking the ball away from Raba, and a foul is called as Mirza slides over.
Great defense by Camus that time. You know, Raba's gonna have his hands full, but these guys are not gonna give in to him easily.
It's a clear precision stop, clear men, no dandruff, just cool hair. Yesterday, UE beat FEU to extend their own series to a rubber match on Thursday. USD trying to do the same today. Fortuna, who has been hot lately from the outside. Camus short on the triple attempt. Bautista in rhythm, still short. A little bit of the jitters from USD's players, and a block from the number 2 shot blocker of the league, Jai Reyes, all the way for the first 2 points of the ballgame.
There has been three-point shots by USD they missed. Ababu, Camus, and Tata Bautista. And every time they miss, expect Ateneo to run and push that ball, Boom.
They are number 2 in terms of three-point shooting, second only to their opponent, Ateneo de Manila University. And how about Eric Salamat, the number 1 thief in the league, taking the ball away, forcing the turnover. All right, let's go to Jessica Mendoza, who will talk about the absence of Nico Salva today from the Ateneo side. Go ahead, Jack.
We'll be all out to win it is how Coach Roman Black described the goal of today's game, adding that Nico Salva, as he said, temporary suspension will not slow the rest of the team down. Nico himself expressed regret over his actions at the FEU game, saying, dapat di ko na lang ginawa. He added that he has full confidence, however, that his team can do without him for one game. As he said, especially of Oping Sumalino, kayang-kaya nilang i-fill up place ko. The Blue Eagles also got an encouraging surprise just a little while ago as Mr. Manny Pangilinan, Ambassador Christy Kenny, and former Eagle Chris Chu dropped by the dugout right before the game to wish everyone luck. Ruben Luigi.
Thank you very much for the Samsung courtside update, Jet. And Ateneo still ahead 2-0 as Jai short on the 3. And USD blocking out Raba, but they can't take care of the possession. Eric Salamat will reload against Tata Bautista. 15 on their 24, almost a steal. Eric shrugs off the defense, sets up Jai, who goes to Raba from the elbow. Tracking it down is Kasim Mirza, and it will be USD possession at the 7:45 mark, with USD still scoreless here. And they want to reminisce their run in 2006, but we'll talk about that later on. 17 seconds on the shot clock of USD right now, still looking for the first 2 points, Luigi.
2-0. I mean, talk about a bit tight. It's either they're both tight or good defense from both teams. It's only Ateneo that scored off transition. And what a fight we're seeing here.
All right, let's reminisce a little from 2 years, 3 years ago from Patch Cansana from the USD side.
We win, we live another day, and if we lose, it's all over. Coach Medorecho and the rest of the Tigers will have their hands full against Ateneo. Beaten twice during the elimination round, the boys will try to relive the spirit way back 2006 when they won the championship despite them being the underdogs. With that week-long preparation, the boys practiced hard and they even slept together and stayed as a team in the gym. The coaches wanted the boys to focus and think nothing else but the game. Paulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na hindi ito ang huli nating practice at babalik pa tayo sa Thursday. Now that Allen Maliksi is back, it will be a big help to USD scoring at to their height. Expect us to go all out, and they left the dugout with the coaches saying, MYM, make your mama proud. Boom and Luigi.
Thank you very much, Patch Cansana, for the Samsung courtside update. Staying together in the gym the last couple of days for them, trying to reinforce a bond, trying to reinforce their focus. Is he a big deal coming back today, Luigi?
Definitely, definitely. But you know, for Coach Pido Arencio and USD also, you win today, you forget about those 3 games. The game today is far more important because once you win today, everybody will forget those 3 losses.
Winning really does that, right?
Exactly.
You forget a lot of things.
Exactly.
When you win. 7 minutes to play.
Interesting thing here, Boom. In the half-court set, both teams haven't scored a field goal. They've got into the free throw stripe, and we've got a layup from Jai Reyes. But just to show you how focused both teams are defensively, there hasn't been a field goal, and it's in the 6-minute mark already.
And speaking of which, 2 seconds to shoot for USD. They'll run out of time. And that is an automatic turnover for the Growling Tigers, the champions of 2006. Let's look at our Alaksan FR Power Fast Rebound. Body paint kahit saan. Agad talab ang Alaksan FR. USD missing the Final Four, 2006 2008 last year, and it was Ateneo, I believe, who knocked them out. Final four contention.
You know, 2 times early in the start of the game, Al Husseini was free. Guys elected to shoot a jump shot. Now they've set Raba up. Raba opting to dribble and take it off the dribble and committing a turnover.
First 2 points for USD, courtesy of the leading scorer of the league.
And you know, if Baclao is on Ababu, that's okay. If Ababu shoots, Baclao's not gonna get the rebound.
Oh, what a strong move by Raba Al Husseini. Dismantling that USD defense, giving them a 3-point lead, 5-2 as we go into a timeout with Samsung Imagination Live. We are back with you here at the Araneta Coliseum. The first strong power move against 3 defenders, the reigning MVP. And a power move brought to you by PS Bank. Simple lang, maaasahan. Another great center in the history of Ateneo and the history of Philippine basketball. You can consider that. Danny Francisco, part of that back-to-back.
He's been there and done that. And think about if he kept on, he had to stop because he had a heart problem, a heart condition.
And you know, they call him the best center who never played in the pros. Danny Francisco. Back to this ball game. 5-2 is the score. You know, all 5 starters of USD Luigi have jacked up a 3 here in this game. Baclao from 18, got it.
Good pass by Raba. And that's the unselfishness that's gotten Ateneo to where they are now, the ball movement.
Ateneo only needs to win today to make it to the finals again. Mirza for 3, got it. Gets it to go.
He's got to shoot that. A while ago, Tata Bautista gave him that. He hesitated, kicked it to Bautista, and got called for the 24-second. No hesitation right now. This is make or break for him.
Halfway point. Oh, the first quarter. Jai with 10 to shoot. Jai splitting the defense. The takeaway by USD. Eric Salama trying to take it back. Tata, space to shoot. Rattles out. The tap going to Dylan Ababu. Oh, he let go of that ball so easily. And it goes to Ateneo with Eric throwing it to Kirk Long. Kirk Long setting up Jai Reyes. No! Jai picks up some scraps.
And Fortuna, if they got past, they would have gotten that rebound. What action we're seeing, huh?
Never assume that the ball is going to go in. That's what the coaches will always say. Jenny Fortuna knocking it down from 17.
You know, I like this matchup, Fortuna versus Jai Reyes. Both heady point guards, not afraid to take the big shot.
And Jarek has really played, even though the 3-game losing skid for USD, he has played very well for USD. He's really come up here in the second round as Raba connects again for the 2-point lead, 9-7. Biggest lead was at 5 for Ateneo. Fortuna will try again, overshoots that one. Eric is ahead of the pack. 3 steps ahead, no problemo.
That's a problem with their threes. When they miss those threes, Ateneo, the big guys, have such great thoughts that they kick and push that ball up by outletting that pass.
Go downstairs.